Allah Almighty says about the believers who believe in the unseen, establish prayer, and spend out of what we have provided for them. This means that they spend from what Allah has granted them, their wealth, knowledge, ability, and every form of provision. And this spending is for the sake of Allah, seeking His pleasure alone. But what exactly does a believer spend in the cause of Allah? And how can this spending be truly accepted? Welcome to Islam Shore. I am Amr Abu Alwafa, and today inshallah we will talk about one of the noble traits of true believers, spending from what Allah has provided them in His cause. Allah Almighty says, who establish prayer and spend from what we have provided for them. This means that a believer spends from whatever Allah has granted him, whether it is a wealth, knowledge, effort, or time, not money alone. For example, if you teach someone beneficial knowledge, you have spent from your intellectual provision. If you help a weak person with your effort, you have spent from your physical provision. If you give money or food, you have spent from your material provision. A true believer doesn't withhold any form of provision that Allah has blessed him with, whether material or spiritual. And this provision in the first place is a trust that Allah has entrusted you with. Allah Almighty says, believe in Allah and His Messenger and spend out of that in which He has made you successors. The meaning is that this provision is not entirely ours. It is a trust that Allah has placed in our hands so that we may spend from it in His cause. But what if what you have is little? Should you still give, or should you save it before it runs out? Here Allah the Almighty says, those who spend in the cause of Allah during ease and hardship, Allah praises the believers who give in all circumstances, whether in time of wealth or poverty. So don't be afraid. Spending is a trade with Allah that will never perish. Whoever spends from what Allah has provided has entered into a profitable trade with Him, a trade where the reward is guaranteed and the return is everlasting. But be careful. Not every act of spending is accepted. It must be from what is pure and lawful, not from anything impure or tainted. For Allah says that He doesn't accept the bad from the good. Moreover, spending must be done with a sincere intention, purely for the sake of Allah. Otherwise, it may not be accepted as you expect. It can be in secret or in public, for Allah says that both are valid. What matters is that the believer gives out of love for Allah, not for praise or recognition from people. When Allah blesses you with something, even a little, some money, knowledge, time, or even a sincere smile, ask yourself, have I used this blessing in a way that pleases Allah? Have I ever thought that what is in my hands isn't truly mine, that I am only entrusted with it to see where, for whom, and why I spend it? Maybe Allah gave you wealth so you could bring joy to the poor. Maybe Allah gave you knowledge so you could benefit others. Maybe He gave you a beautiful voice so you could remind people of His word. So ask yourself gently, am I truly spending from what Allah has provided me? In the end, spending in the cause of Allah means offering any blessing that Allah has bestowed upon you, material or spiritual, sincerely for His sake, seeking only His pleasure and expecting nothing in return from anyone. If you found this content beneficial, please share it so others may benefit too. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.